guys, I'm Morgan from FinePoints.biz, and today I'm going to talk all about hiring a VA, a virtual assistant, for your bookkeeping business. So give me a thumbs up if you're excited about this topic and subscribe for a video every week. All right, so I made this kind of into a question and answer format just to make it easier to follow. I'll probably put in the screen breaks so that you can skip to certain parts if you're interested in that. So the first question that is probably the most obvious and people have asked me a lot is, what should a VA do? So there's three different kind of sections I thought of that would be helpful for your bookkeeping business. The first one is marketing. So maybe they are posting on your social media, they are following up with client leads, they send out a monthly or weekly newsletter, they update your website, they help your Google page. Like for your business, you can be listed on Google so that people can find you that way. Maybe they're posting on job websites that you are a bookkeeper and you're looking for, different clients. They could be directly contacting businesses either locally or elsewhere to, ask if they need a bookkeeper, reach out. So a couple really good things about marketing VA is that maybe you don't have the expertise for that. And also you can see a really direct correlation between they're making my business money, so it's worth it that I'm spending this money. So that's kind of helpful too, especially when you're just starting out. All right, the second thing I thought of is more of just like an assistant role. So they're doing anything that you are already doing, but you just no longer have time for. So they're answering your emails, they're taking phone calls, they're managing your appointment calendar. Maybe there's special projects that they work on that you don't have time for. Maybe they're researching new technology that you need to do. So anything that you could be doing or you are doing, but you want to outsource to another person. So we have marketing, general assistant, or really like a bookkeeper kind of working under you is the third type of assistant that I thought of. So this person would have a comfort with QuickBooks, or maybe you could even train them. And maybe they're doing some repetitive tasks that you need to do over and over again. Maybe they're scanning in receipts and coding them, or they're, going through old bank records or something. Maybe they're in charge of pulling all of these reports for all your different clients, and you've instructed them which reports to pull, and then they send those to the clients. All right, the next question is, what is the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant? Some of these might be kind of obvious, but basically they're really flexible. They can work from anywhere, so you can hire someone from anywhere. They can work whatever schedule you want them to, or they can work on their own time. And I think the biggest pro is that you then will get to spend your time on your areas of strength and the areas that are more high level to your business that are really important. So say you spend like an hour answering email every day or more than that. If that hour can be removed and you can spend that time bookkeeping, then you're obviously going to make more money in the long run. And the other benefit is the income generating activity. So like the marketer that I talked about first, they might be a person who's making more money for your business and bringing in clients or keeping current clients happy. So that is, your business therefore can grow and you can afford them. All right, and then when to hire a bookkeeper. This probably varies person to person, but basically if you are really overwhelmed and you can feel that you're needing the extra help, and you feel like your business is able to support another person. And of course, I'm going to talk about this more later, but you do not have to do it full-time at all. You could even hire a virtual assistant like a couple hours a week, or whatever you can afford and whatever is needed for your business. That is one of the great things about it. That's another bit of those flexibility aspect that I was talking about before. So if your expertise could be better spent elsewhere, that is a time. Also, if you don't have the expertise, like maybe you want to get on Pinterest, but it's going to take you so long to learn that it's not really worth your time, you can hire someone to do that already knows it, which might be a better investment for you. And then I also said when you can't afford it, and I kind of already touched on that, but basically if you feel like you need it and you have a little bit of margin, you can probably start with a VA just a couple hours, like a short amount of time. All right, how to prepare. So I think it's very important to have a clear job description. That's really going to allow you to, one, hire the right person for the tasks, and two, be really efficient with your time and with their time. And of course, you can kind of tweak and alter this as you go along, but the clearer you can start out, I think the easier it's going to be to hire the right person. And then my other just tip for this is, I don't think it's always advantageous to hire the cheapest person. And I know that's very tempting because you're like, oh, this is a good deal and they could get a lot of work done. If it turns out to not be a good fit, then in the long run, it'll actually cost you more time and money and annoyance than if you just hired like the right person who can do the right things and maybe you pay them a little bit higher rate. All right, where to hire a virtual assistant? This is probably the question that you came here to get answered maybe, and I didn't know the answer to this 100%. My virtual assistant I hired because I already knew her. So that is option number one, is look at your existing network. It could be people that you know through the internet or networking groups or, different acquaintances. You can ask around to your friends and family if there's anyone that would be a good fit. Oftentimes in business, some of the best employees come from referrals. That's why often they give employee referral bonuses if you have your friend come work at the company. But basically, look at your existing network. That's what I was able to do and found like the perfect fit for that. But if you strike out when you look within your network, I found just by Googling a list of the best sites to hire virtual assistants. So I think there's like 10 or so sites on there. It gives like a little blurb about what the pros and cons to each one is. So there are sites basically dedicated to matching virtual assistants up with people who need them. You can also just go the more like traditional route. You can do a job posting on LinkedIn or Craigslist or Indeed or different job websites like that. Just post, I need a virtual assistant for this many hours a week. You'll work as a contractor and this is the tasks that you'll be performing. Just another random recommendation that's not on that list in the link I'm going to provide in the description box is Abby Ashley. She has a business called The Virtual Savvy, and she has a YouTube channel that's really helpful. That's all about being a virtual assistant. So I think she also has a program where she matches her students, her virtual assistants, with clients, with people who need them. And there are options to hire assistants that live overseas or live in different parts of the world. I don't know, different people might have different opinions about that. In the networking group I'm in, it had a recommendation for an outsourcing company where the people would work within QuickBooks. So it would be like the number 3 thing on the first question. They would be working in QuickBooks for you. So I believe the managers are based in Florida, and then there's they have an office overseas as well. So I can't remember right off the top of my head what the name of that group is or that company is, but I'm going to try to find it and leave it linked in the description box for you as well. And next I have on my question list is how to hire. So basically I would just do an interview with the person. I would check their references. I find references to be pretty helpful. Make sure you're communicating about, job responsibilities, communication, what their schedule is going to be, how they want to get paid and how often, and maybe even some of your business goals. And you can always set it up to be like a trial run. So be like, I'm gonna hire you for, a month and see how it goes, and then we'll reevaluate from there. And how much to pay your new VA. So this is gonna vary depending on your location and a variety of factors. The range I looked up and that I think is reasonable is like $15 an hour to $30 an hour. I don't know, that might seem high to you. It might seem low to you, I don't know. A lot of this is going to depend on how specialized they are. So they are like a whiz at like all the marketing things that you need done, and they're really like hustling and making your business a lot of like money and a lot of new clients, and they're really like on top of things. I would expect to pay more for that person. I would expect to pay on the higher end. If they're an assistant who's answering phones and managing your calendar and doing more tasks that don't require so much specialization, then it'll probably be on the lower end of the scale. And I would, in most cases, recommend hiring them as a 1099 contractor, which is usually what you are as a bookkeeper for your clients. Make sure you're following the IRS guidelines for that, so they need to be able to set their own hours and use their own equipment, but usually that works out well, and then it's a little bit easier to manage to pay them and that kind of thing. You just need to send them a 1099 at the end of the year. And how to communicate with your new VA. So I would schedule either weekly or monthly check-ins. Maybe it's just like 10 minutes, maybe it's longer if you don't do it as much, just so you guys have a good stream of communication, especially at the beginning. And what I use with my VA is I use Asana. I did make a video about that from kind of like a bookkeeper's perspective. You can check out, this is the thumbnail. But how we organize that board is I have kind of a brain dump of all the projects I want to get done, and then I separate them out into month tasks. So I'm like, it's June right now. So, we'll be working on the June column, and then we can move things back and forth in Asana if we don't finish a task or if it's like an ongoing task. And then my VA uses a program called Toggl, T-O-G-G-L, to record what she's doing. So she records her time and her tasks, and it is kind of a cool program. You should Google it if you want more info, but it kind of breaks down what she's spending her time on, which is helpful to me as a business owner to know, what in my business is taking the most time or the least time. Leave me a comment down below if you have any more questions about a VA or hiring a VA or any tips for us. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.